Bernadette with Personal Training Bernadette, and this is going to be a video about self-myofascial release for the lower body. I'm only going to cover a couple of exercises to get you started, and I'll be making more videos in the future for more lower body as well as upper body. Before I begin, I just want to begin with the different things that we use for self-myofascial release. So in my last video, that brought you to this video hopefully, I was talking about the foam roller. So this is a foam roller. Okay, they come in different lengths. All right, you can get them longer. This is a relatively short one, and this is a low density foam roller. So it has some give, okay? You can squeeze it. This would be best for the beginner. All right, the beginner person would have the most muscle imbalances because this would be the first time you're using this. The low density foam roller will still feel possibly uncomfortable and possibly painful, but you will eventually get better with that, and if you stay consistent with it, you won't feel it as much, and then you would graduate. You would graduate to a higher density foam roller. This particular one is hollow. The higher density foam roller is not are all hollow. This one just happens to be hollow. This is a very high density one, and it even has ridges in it. All right, this would be where you don't feel any more trigger points with this foam roller. Okay, and then you go on this, and all of a sudden they appear because you've gotten accustomed to that. You weren't getting in there deep enough, and you needed something harder to keep you healthy, keep your muscles healthy. The last one is using some sort of a ball. Okay, this is just a super ball that you can buy at a toy store. You can also use a softball. You can use a lacrosse ball. You can use a tennis ball. You can use any ball that you would feel comfortable using, and as long as it fits in the right spot and it's for the right type of thing. Not all muscles require a ball. Some you still have to use a foam roller. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to demonstrate with the foam roller. First, for calves. Be sure to stay hydrated, okay? Drink water before, during, and after. I feel hydrated now. Okay, you want to place the foam roller on your calves, the lower part of your calves, not your tendon. You want to prop yourself up and slowly roll. You just roll very slowly. Don't go behind your knee. You just are surveying the muscle for that trigger point. When you find it, you can then have a seat. Okay, you can stay just like this if you want, or you can do one leg at a time, and then when you feel a trigger point, cross your leg over your leg to really press that muscle into the foam roller to squish it against bone, because that's all we're doing is squishing muscle against bone to get it to try to go from that knot, remember, to that smoother position. Okay, you can do one leg at a time, and that's it. All right, the next one, the hips. The hips would be where you can actually palpate yourself, your hip bone, the front hip bone right here, okay? And then if you kind of walk your fingers down, you can feel the top of your thigh bone, all right? And then if you kind of feel in the middle there and just this little area, you will actually feel it on the foam roller. So you're just going to kind of survey that area a little bit, and you'll find trigger points. What you want to do is just get down like this. All right, you don't want to hang out on that hip bone too long. You want to go where it's the softer muscles and just kind of feel. You can turn in a little bit, you can turn out a little bit. Your back leg of the side that you're doing is straight, and the top leg is either out like this, or you can bend it just like this. Always be sure that your joints are stacked up in a straight fashion. All right, I don't want you to be sunken in like this or hanging out like this. okay? Always think of stacking your joints up in a straight fashion. So elbow always directly right underneath my shoulder. My wrist usually is directly in line with my elbow, and so forth. So even though I'm doing lower body flexibility, I'm keeping my upper body safe. Next would be the foam roller for the front of your thighs. So again, start at the top, at the bottom part of your hip bones, and then just slowly walk your elbows out. Again, don't let your shoulders sink down like this. Don't lay down like this. Prop your chest up nice and high. Keep your shoulders out of your neck by pushing them down, and relax. It's very important that while doing the front of your thighs, these muscles right here, which is your rectus femoris, they can be very painful, okay? More painful than your calves in most cases. So it's important that when rolling, that you don't tense up your muscle, because that's your natural reaction when rolling, and that pain, and you hit that trigger point, and that pain could be very, very bad, and your first reaction is going to be to tighten up your muscle. We don't want to do that, because why are we rolling our muscles? Because we want to relax them, right? If we tighten up our muscles while we're trying to relax them, we're exciting our pain receptors, making them want to get tighter. That's not what we want to do. So as hard as it may feel to relax into it because it hurts, this is a good technique that you can try, is inhale really hard through your nose right as you're about to get to that trigger point, and as soon as you're there, exhale really hard through your mouth, and just try to let everything relax and just melt into the foam roller. Hold it as long as you can, but we typically want to hold anything for at least 30 minutes or 30 seconds. 30 minutes would kill you. What am I talking about? You want to hold anything for 30 seconds or until you find a release. All right. So if you hold for 30 seconds, but you don't find a release yet, you still feel your, let's say your pain from a scale from 1 to 10 when you first went on it was a 9, okay? 30 seconds later, it's about a 6. If you can hold on there still until it gets down to a 2 or a 1 or a 0, that would be your best way of doing it. However, for people with very low pain tolerance, you may not even last for 10 seconds. All I'm asking is that if 10 seconds, 15 seconds, or 20 seconds is your pain tolerance without tensing up your muscle, just give it a try, okay? And do it anyway, and do it on a daily basis. And I promise you that your pain tolerance will rise, okay? I promise you, and you will then be able to hold for that 30 seconds or more. Okay, so that would be your hips. It's very important that you stay hydrated, okay? Like I said, and it's very important that you don't roll back and forth on your muscles. In fact, I'm just gonna hit on that at the end of this, all right? Let me just get back to the next one. The next one is the piriformis. The piriformis is the muscle that's in the back here. You wanna use, I'm going to go ahead and show you with the foam roller, because that would be your starting point. This can be a very painful one. You sit on the roller, okay? Cross one leg over. The leg that's crossed over is the side that we're working. Slowly go down to your elbow, okay? And you're going to start feeling some stuff. And you'll feel a trigger point, and when you do, just try to relax and breathe into it, but don't do this, okay? Do your best to hold on there, okay? And that's it. All right, those are the release techniques for each. So what I want to drive in here is very important. Whether you're doing your calves, your hips, or your thighs, or your piriformis. Don't do the rolling back motion when you find that trigger point. Don't keep rolling over it, because that also is going to excite your pain receptors. Sometimes people do that because it feels good, or they think because they're rolling back and forth that they're just going to release that knot. It's just going to excite it more. The whole idea with self-myofascial release is when you find that trigger point, you want to find it and hold statically. Statically means no motion. No motion, no tensing, and breathing into it for a minimum of 30 seconds or until you find a release. So let me just demonstrate that to you. Do not do this. You're finding your trigger point. There it is. Okay? So you don't want to just constantly go like this. You're not massaging it out like you're at a massage therapist. We're releasing. So releasing means find a trigger point, sit down, cross over, press, and let the foam roller do its job by relaxing. No motion. Okay? That goes for everything. All right? Stay hydrated. Okay. We're going to do static stretches next.
Right, so we're going to do some static stretches for our calves, our hips and thighs, and our piriformis muscle. Very important that when doing the calf stretch, I'm going to show you two ways. The way that most people do it and know is pushing through your heel and doing a wall stretch, or I'm holding onto a table and just holding this position. The way you want to do it is drive your heel through the floor of the calf that's being stretched. Squeeze and tuck your butt and make sure everything is locked out as you drive, and then you're going to slightly shift your body away from it until you feel that calf muscle pulling. Very important that you don't want to overstretch it. So as soon as you feel that stretch, as soon as you feel that pull, hold that stretch. Don't keep going into it when you're doing that type of a stretch, because you could tear the muscle, okay? Another way of doing it is using a slant. It's just a slant board, or in this case, this is a foam slant. It's a very inexpensive slant. I bought it on Amazon. It's called OPTP, and you get two of them for like 20 bucks. And this has seen its better days, but they're good for the price. What you want to do is stand on a slant like this. All right. I'm going to stand up on it. I'm going to actually, hey, blurry. I'm going to actually turn my toes inward towards each other a little bit. Okay, so you may not be able to see there, but I'm letting you know that I'm going to actually turn my toes in towards each other a little bit, because I'm not only stretching the back of my calf, which is your gastrocnemius soleus, but I'm also wanting to stretch this side of my calf, which is my lateral gastrocnemius. So we can get both of them, okay? All of them. So I'm going to step on here. All right. Drive my heels through the floor. I can't drive that home enough. All right. You don't want your heels to be off or not have tension on your heels. So it's very important that you stick your toes up to the ceiling and drive your heels to the floor. That you stand up nice and tall. Don't be leaned over. You can do this up against a wall. You can hold on to a counter. Just make sure that you're able to hold this position. After driving my heels to the floor, I'm going to squeeze my butt really tight. Now I'm going to drive my hips forward, but try to keep my upper body where it is. So I'm going to be leaning forward, but not like this with my upper body. I'm going to try to keep this here and just drive my heels through the floor and push my hips forward, but trying to keep my upper body here. Immediately you're going to feel a stretch. When you feel that stretch, hold it right there. After 30 seconds or so, when it starts to not feel like a stretch as much as when you first did it, you then and only then can try to go a little further. Why? Because you've regained range of motion. Because you stretched long enough where we pulled the muscle and lengthened that muscle. Now we can maybe go a little further into our new range of motion, okay? You can kind of play with it and feel it yourself. That is, I just heard my dog bark, sorry. That is the calf stretch, all right? Next, where am I? Okay. The hip stretch. You can use your foam roller that you used before. You can hold onto a table or a desk. The idea is just don't do it in the middle of the floor with nothing, because then it's going to become more of a stability thing. You're going to have to hold your balance. I want you to concentrate on the stretch, not worrying about holding your balance, okay? We have balance exercises for that. All right, so hip flexors and the front of your thigh. What you want to do is this position, just like this. Hips right above the knee, knee right below the hips in a straight line. Knee right above the ankle in a nice straight line. Remember, joints stacked up upon joints in a straight fashion. Everything should always be nice and straight and stacked up. If our joints aren't stacked up straight, something is off, crooked, not in line, and we're doing some sort of a motion, something can happen, okay? So we don't want that. From here, you want to tuck your butt under as much as you can. Some people don't understand what I mean by that. So if you arch your back and stick your butt out like that, we all can do that, right? Do the complete opposite. That's it. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Hold that stretch. You should feel a nice stretch here. You want a bigger stretch? You want to feel more? Watch my foot. Go up on your foot. Now tuck under. Now you're going to get more of a stretch. Some people can't do this because they have too much sensitivity in their knee. So if you do this and you feel any kind of pain in your knee, or it's just really uncomfortable in your knee, then flatten out your foot. But if you can do this, fine. Make sure you tuck under and hold that stretch. Really hold that for a good 30 seconds. Okay? And of course you do the same thing on the other side. Everything is stacked up. Okay? Just like this. And tuck under. Okay. Piriformis. Piriformis, there are a couple of different ways of doing it. That's the muscle back here. So you can get on the floor. You can grab, stare at the bottoms of my feet here, okay? All right, so you can grab your ankle here, your leg here, and you can just hold right there. Just grabbing the two, you'll start to feel that pull. If you're unable to do that for some reason, you just don't have the ability, then just lay down and go like this. All right, you want to take your opposite hand, grab right here, and what you want to do is slowly try to pull this knee to the opposite, very, very slowly, until you feel that pull right in here. Hold that stretch as soon as you feel the pull. Remember, don't go beyond that. Inhale and exhale. After about 30 seconds, because this muscle has a propensity to really get tight, okay? And this is really a painful one because the piriformis runs so closely to the sciatic nerve. So we can get a lot of sciatic nerve pain because of the piriformis being so tight. All right, so right now I feel a good release. I feel the muscle's really been stretched. So I can try to go into it a little bit more. The best way to go into the stretch more before I do it is inhale. And on the exhale, slowly start to pull. Make sure you do it on the exhale though. And then just hold it, okay? There's a couple of different ways of doing it. There's a couple other ways, but those are the easiest ways of doing it. All right, so I hope that this helps you. Self-myofascial release followed by static stretching. An important note is the myofascial release. Okay, so we use the foam roller or a softball to smooth out the muscles. That is done before your workout, before your walk or run. And it can also be done just to relax your muscles anytime on rest days. But talking about working out, okay, exercising, the self-myofascial release is done before your workout. You do your self-myofascial release followed by static stretching. Don't go into your workout without doing the myofascial release and just going right into static stretching. Don't walk into the gym, you're doing your legs, right? And just go up against the wall and start stretching your calves. I see so many people doing that. Come on, Blurry. If you just start to stretch a cold muscle hasn't been touched, and you just start pulling on it. Just think about when you're static stretching, you're pulling, right? Because you're going like this. What do you think it's going to do? It's like a rubber band, right? It's going to fight back. You have done nothing to soften it up. You try to stretch that, as soon as you come out of that stretch, boom, it's going to snap right back. In fact, it might get tighter. In fact, you might end up getting injured, okay, in that session because of it. Another thing is walk into the gym, just hop on a treadmill, and then start your workout. You're not really addressing the knots in your muscle and the adhesions and tightnesses in your muscles. So very important is self-myofascial release, followed by static stretching. Release softens the muscle, smooths it out. Static stretching regains the length, okay? The length that we need, okay, from that shortened position. Now we have a lengthened position, so now we can work through a full range of motion. Right? Do you get that? So it's very important. Myofascial release followed by static stretching. Workout. What do you do when you're done with your workout? You stretch. You don't do self-myofascial release. Do not use the foam roller. Do not use the ball when you're finished working out, running, or walking. Just static stretch. Just stretch those muscles, okay? Take your time. Get the length. Keep it there. This will not only help your muscles repair themselves, but also help you into your next workout because of the stretching, all right? So there you go, self-myofascial release and static stretching. This is Personal Training with Bernadette. I hope you enjoy watching these videos. The video that precedes this video is the explanation of why we do myofascial release and what it is. So hopefully you watch that before you watch this one. I'm going to have that link in the description below in case you missed it and you just jumped on this one. Please go watch that one. It's very important. There's a lot of things you need to understand. So have a great day. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my videos, please. I'm also on Instagram, and that is also below. All right. See ya. Bye.